Right, 22 October 2025, and today I'm excited to be giving you a special feature, and this special feature is with regards to a document that has been circulating. So I'll try to keep it short and sweet. So this document is very important because it has already started being implemented. So if you are not aware, the implementation of the Breaking Barriers document has already started, and I'm going to unpack it for you. So this document was written and submitted in 2024. So it was submitted in October 2024, a first version, and then a second version was submitted in December 2024. And we first heard about this document from Chiwenga when he was responding to, or when he was presenting to the Politburo of ZANU-PF. General Chiwenga then accused Jonathan Moyo of drafting the Breaking Barriers document, putting Zimbabwe first. And he said during his presentation that this document was meant to extend the term of Mnangagwa, postpone the elections by 10 years, resulting in Mnangagwa staying in office until 2035. So this is what the document is about. But when you read the document that is in the public, you can clearly see that there's no way where these things are written. So I was trying to find out why Chiwenga was saying this, and I've got the answer. So the answer is that this document is not the complete document. So the document that you've seen, which is called Breaking Barriers Initiative, BBI, is not the full document. According to this very document, there are more documents that have been presented to the Parliament of Zimbabwe, and these documents are where that information is. So Chiwenga has seen a bigger document with more information. So if you go to page 23 or 22, you will see that it says the Breaking Barriers Initiative will be facilitated by Shikamo as its implementation vehicle, working closely with the Parliament of Zimbabwe under the direction of the Projects Exco. The organization is registered as Shikamo Political Advisory and Campaign Services in South Africa, and you are getting the registration number. However, there is more documents. There are two more documents that have not been made public. And this is almost like a proposal or a high-level document that has been made available. And you can obviously see that on all public platforms. But the question is, who generated that document? Why did they come up with that document? Who are the players behind the document, and what is their plan? So let's look at who is Glenn Mupani. Glenn Mupani is the owner of Shikamo, the company that Chiwenga talked about. And I can show you his picture. So he is a Zimbabwean. But what you'll find out is that when you search him online, you won't see his history in Zimbabwe. You won't see where he came from in Zimbabwe. So that is Glenn Mupani. Glenn Sungano Mupani here is the one that generated the document with his company. He has got a long history of commenting on Zimbabwe and the coup. So initially, Glenn Mupani was aligned to the opposition or to international organizations. In this picture, you can see Glenn Mupani at Harvard, where he was presenting in 2017. He was one of the first people to present and comment when Tendai Biti went to Zambia and was denied asylum. So Glenn Mupani was one of the first people to comment on that issue. He's an expert on Zimbabwe in terms of commenting. If you look at all the things that he does, most of them have to do with the Zimbabwe. Currently, he is known for putting into office the president of Lesotho. So the current president of Lesotho was elected miraculously and almost in a surprising manner, was put into place by Shikamo. So Shikamo was the advisor to that political party, and they did a lot of work resulting in him getting victory. But if you go back and say, who is Glenn Mupani in Zimbabwe? You can't find him. It's very difficult to find Glenn Mupani. So I'm talking here about the Revolution for Prosperity Party, which won the election in Lesotho in 2022. That is the biggest success of Shikamo. So when you look at this man, you must know that he has put in place a government in our region. And after he put the government in our region, obviously, he would have approached ZANU-PF or people connected to ZANU-PF to say, I've managed to put these people in office. Do you guys want to work with me? And obviously, the Parliament of Zimbabwe would have said yes. And you say, Gambakwe, why do you say he said yes? They said yes. That is because the process of BBI, Breaking Barriers Initiative, putting Zimbabwe first, has already started. And that process started with a prayer, so a national day of prayer. So there are 4 phases to this proposal of the Breaking Barriers Initiative. So today I will do part 1. You can see that I said part 1. I want to give you a bigger view. And then another day I'll do part 2. So I've said to you, Shikamo, Glenn Mupani, these people, they are connected to the bigger political space of Zimbabwe. Glenn Mupani used to be in the opposition before 2017 when the coup happened. However, if you look at his work, he has been working a lot in the political space in Zimbabwe and South Africa. And you cannot see him in the Zimbabwean space except for commentary. However, recently, he has started doing work for Zimbabwe starting around October 2024 when he created this document. After he has created the party which is ruling right now in Lesotho, they've worked with that party, they've consulted them. He runs a course at the University of Cape Town, which is to do with politics and campaigning. He's got many courses that is running regarding campaigning. So he's not independent. He's not an independent player. He is an activist or an active participant who gets paid to take a side. So when he gets paid, he takes a side. And his job is to make that side win. In the case of Zimbabwe, his job is to make Zimbabweans agree to change the constitution so that ZANU-PF can stay in office. Why do I say that? The Breaking Barriers Initiative is not new. The first Breaking Barriers Initiative was in Kenya. So in Kenya, there was a massive bill or a Breaking Barriers Initiative, which was introduced when there was disagreement among the parties. The government of Kenya tried to sell it to the citizens of Kenya. It was very popular, but it was in the Constitutional Court where they lost. So the president, according to the Constitutional Court of Kenya, could not make the change that they wanted to make. So that is the Breaking Barriers Initiative of Kenya. He was not involved there directly, but I have a feeling that Jonathan Moyo would have been involved in the Breaking Barriers Initiative of Kenya. So you must understand where we are. And as I said, I'm trying to give you a view of who are dealing with. Glenn Mupani is an international player in the political space of Africa. He has been to Harvard, as I showed you. He runs a course at the University of Cape Town. Shikamo is not a one-man band. It's got many people in it. And when we look at Shikamo, we've got the University of Cape Town, where he's obviously running a course. We also have people inside the Shikamo, other partners. So take, for example, Steve Jardine, Moma Dieng, and Dr. Elizabeth Azevedo Haman. Those people are mentioned as partners in Shikamo on top of the University of Cape Town. And as you have seen, he has been to Harvard, He has been to all these places where he spoke. So when you look at Shikamo, it's not a small political consultants. They get paid a lot of money to do what they're doing. So basically, they are working in this particular case for ZANU-PF. So let's look at high level, what they're proposing. At the high level, they're proposing that there must be amendments to the Constitution, and these amendments must follow 4 phases. That is the precursor. The precursor is going to be a prayer, a day of prayer. It was proposed for 1 June 2025. Sorry, 21 June 2025. That is when the National Day of Prayer was supposed to happen. The National Day of Prayer has already happened. You remember that Chiwenga boycotted the National Day of Prayer. And at the same time, there was also a boycott by Mnangagwa himself, and I'm not going. I think the only person who went there was Tungwarara, if I'm not mistaken, where he donated some money. But there have been other days of prayer. So other churches have been doing days of prayer. So there's prayer taking place. Then there's going to be a 6 weeks of consultation. And that is before and after the adoption of an omnibus amendment. There is going to be consultation. So basically, to bypass the referendum, they are going to consult. And as they consult, they're going to be feeling what people think. And then, obviously, there's going to be the amendments. And the amendments that are proposed are as follows. So I want to give you the amendments very quickly. So there's the Electoral Act amendments. Then there is the Gukurahundi. It's a big thing over there. Let me look at other amendments to see what else they're amending. Okay, so there's Electoral Act Amendment Bill, Registration of Political Parties Bill, Electoral Supervision Bill, Delimitation Commission Bill, Registration of Voters Bill, and Gukurahundi Reconciliation and Memorial Bill. You can see that all these have got to do with the elections. What does it mean? All these acts have got something to do with the term of office of a president or of parliament, or when elections are held. So the reason why they're doing an omnibus amendment is because they want to make sure that everything is aligned. So what I'm going to do part 1 now, and then obviously I want to do part 2. So part 2 is going to give you more details, but I'm going to give you a bit of what I've said here, and then we'll keep working on this document that I have on Gambakwe, so that you can understand and you don't have to search all over the place for information. So looking at this, you can clearly see that a lot of work has been done here. These guys have been paid. They've already been paid. It's not possible for someone to do this work without being paid. So Glenn Mupani and his company, Shikamo, have already been paid. The company was established in 2017, just before the coup. And then they went to carry out a lot of discussions on Zimbabwe. So a lot of discussions on Zimbabwe. Some of the things that he said include the fact that ZANU-PF and Mnangagwa, they are going to do very well. They've already gotten the support of the people. The economy was going to recover. You can go and check out all the things that Glenn Mupani have said. In fact, let me show you something that Glenn Mupani said about the opposition. So let's look at some of the things that Glenn Mupani has said, because I want you to understand him. He is not an ordinary person. He is working for ZANU-PF. He's consulting for ZANU-PF. So the work that he's doing, and I don't know how he's connected to Jonathan Moyo, and when they're connected, maybe they're connected because of the work that Jonathan Moyo has done on the BBI of Kenya. But certainly, he is working for ZANU-PF, and the plan is simple. That is to extend the period where there's no election. So we're talking here of changing how the government is structured. In Kenya, they wanted to introduce the position of prime minister. That was the plan. That was declared unconstitutional in court. In the case of Zimbabwe, they want to bypass that process. And let me show you what he said here at Harvard.
He steps in and then he becomes president. Before going to this issue of him being sworn in as a president, I think everyone was talking about this. I even spoke about to say, you know what, perhaps he has an opportunity of him coming together and bring a government of national unity, governing together, and then there can be resources coming from the West. But guess what that march did? When people were marching, they were marching with placards celebrating the general and him as a candidate. What that process did is that it removed the importance of the opposition, because he became the hero that has liberated Zimbabweans from the Mugabe that they so much wanted to get out of office. So in essence, the opposition became totally irrelevant, even though it was already weak and fractured. He became the icon.
Very interesting. You can watch this. One of the most interesting videos ever done by Glenn Mupani is this video at Harvard. Guys, where we are at a position where most of the people that were working in the opposition are jumping over to work with Mnangagwa, because Mnangagwa has got money. They are consultants, they get paid, and they go over there. But we're not going to get anything from these guys except the kind of change that you are expecting to see, which is a change of the constitution. And I'm now going to put Themba Mliswa right next to me, right here, so that we can be monitoring. In 5 minutes' time, Violet Gonda is going to be starting her stream. So I'm going to be monitoring it for you. So don't get worried that you will lose out. You're not going to lose out. You're going to see Themba Mliswa talking to Violet in 5 minutes. So I've got it and I'm viewing it for you. So don't worry, we've got it. And we're going to be playing it as soon as it becomes live. I'm going to go with you into that live. I know that Violet channel is very small. It's got only 3,000 people on it. So not many people are going to be watching. Gambakwe's channel, on the other hand, has got 130,000 people. So what we're going to do is we're going to help her along and play with her. And then when we finish, we're going to remove our video and then we can direct people to her video. So what is the point I'm making? The Breaking Barriers Initiative document has already started being implemented. The Breaking Barriers document that you're looking at right now is not the complete document. There are 2 more documents that are there. And the process is going to be managed like a project. So Shikamo is going to bring a project team. And when they bring a project team, that team's job will be to implement the changes. So the Zimbabwe government won't have to do anything. ZANU-PF won't have to do anything. And as I said, there are 2 documents called the project description, the concept paper, and the project document. So there are actually 3 more documents that are there. On top of the one that you've seen on Lynn's channel, there is the project description, the concept paper, and the project document. So those are submitted on 23 October 2024 and 18 December 2024. So those documents are available somewhere, but we don't have them. And Chiwenga has seen them. And that is why he's talking about why Jonathan Moyo is involved. There is a reason why he's saying that in this document, I don't see anywhere where Jonathan Moyo is mentioned. I don't see anywhere where it's mentioned about postponing the elections for 10 years. So there's another document that has got that information. And I hope that we'll be able to see it very, very soon and understand what is being said. So I think it's clear. I'm trying to think how we can finish the next minute so that we wait for Themba Mliswa. Let's look at how long it is going to take. It's going to take 33 weeks to implement the project. Phase 1 is 6 weeks. Phase 2 is 12 weeks. Phase 3 is 2 weeks. And phase 4 is 6 weeks. And as you can see, there's a 90 days already built into the project. So today I was only giving you who is who. Who is Glenn Mupani? Who is Shikamo? How is the high level of what they're proposing? And how many documents are there? As I said, we don't have the full document. So don't think you know, because these documents you have are only the smaller parts of the document. There's a bigger 2 documents that we don't have, which has got the detail, which Chiwenga has seen. So I hope that that gets leaked. But to put it into context, Glenn Mupani is a Zimbabwean. He is based in South Africa. He runs a course at the University of Cape Town. He has done a lot of work at Harvard. He has also done a lot of work at Open Society. He's done a lot of work for Zimbabwe diaspora elections. I'll put this for you on Gambakwe. So don't worry, you can just go to Gambakwe and you'll be able to read everything. We've put everything. We're not finished, but every day we're going to build on this document. And when I do part 2, we'll be done. So let's see what Themba Mliswa is saying now. He's just about to start. So let's see what Themba Mliswa is saying. And watch with me as these guys get started. They'll be starting in just a few seconds from now. So let's see what they're saying. Okay, it's not started yet. It's about to start. All right, it's about to start.